So, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the, I'm gonna look for my glasses. Of the Public Facilities Committee. And here at the beginning of the meeting, not in this room, but online. Our Councilor Getz from Ward 5, Councilor Kelly from Ward 3, Councilor Danberg from Ward 6. Councilor Kalis from Ward 8. Is that all the members of the committee? And myself, Susan Albright from Ward 2. And we have some other councils with us. We have Councilor Lucas from Ward 2. Councilor Wright from Ward 3. Is that it for councilors? I think so. Okay, so I'm gonna read all of these into the record because I think we can just do them all at the same time, or what do you?
Well, you can read them all into the record. I will take them one by one.
Okay, all right, and we have Commissioner Sullivan is on a short leash tonight because she has a snow call at 5 of 8. So,
I apologize. Happy to come back to continue the discussion.
okay. So, the first item, and our committee clerk. Katie Holden is from the clerk's office. Not from.
Is that Jonathan Yo?
Jonathan
There he
Hill here also,
Bernie McDonald's also here.
and Bernie McDonald from
Hello, folks.
Deputy.
our deputy commissioner. Okay, here we go. 324-24, councilors Lucas, Laredo, Malachi, Greenberg, Humphrey, Farrell, Getz, Leary, Kalis, Lipoff, Danberg, and Lovovitz, requesting a discussion with the Department of Public Works regarding public and private stormwater mitigation to improve flooding that can result from the city's capital improvement projects to reduce inflow and infiltration within the sewer system. We also have 348-24, which is Councilor Albright on behalf of the Public Facilities Committee, requests discussion with the Commissioner of DPW. I won't say Jim McGonigal because it's not anymore, regarding the city's past successes in updating Newton's water and sewer and stormwater infrastructure. Cost savings from these upgrades, our present position, and what future work is planned to continue the multi-year plan to upgrade this infrastructure, including a timeline for future enhancements. And the last one is 347-24, Councilors Kalis, Lipoff, Malachi, Albright, Getz, Laredo, Lucas, Greenberg, Danberg, Lovovitz, and Farrell, requesting a discussion with ISD and engineering and possible ordinance amendment to better understand the details around how water movement from one property to another is assessed, monitored, and tracked over time. The discussion should include what types of drainage systems engineering what drainage systems engineering requires of developers to ensure water remains on site, as well as what steps are taken if an approved plan is unsuccessful, with the objective of strengthening the city's ordinance. So,
I think I wrote that one.
pardon?
I think I wrote that last one.
I think you did. Commissioner Sullivan is here to enlighten us.
I am. I'm gonna start with 324-24 regarding the INI and our improvement projects. So as you are all aware, we are beginning design of Area 9. And our consultants, who are Weston and Sampson, are currently designing the INI project. We are aware that portions of this area have a high groundwater table. The consultants have set up monitoring wells to understand how the groundwater level, what the groundwater levels are prior to construction. As part of the construction, we will need to manage the groundwater through the drainage system. Our consultant is currently working on design options to mitigate the groundwater, both during construction and post-construction. We will be coming back to the council when we have completed designs to further discuss on how the groundwater will be managed. As we move forward with our CIP and INI projects, we will always take groundwater mitigation into consideration. I'm aware of an issue that resulted from our INI reduction program in the area of Farina Road. We will be cleaning the stream in the area to address the groundwater issue as a result of the INI project. This should give us plenty of capacity for the groundwater. This will be a priority once we have our stream cleaning contract in place, which we are working on executing. I know that we originally believed that some flooding issues in the Amherst Road area were a result of our INI program, but a leak was identified by the MWRA and repaired, which resolved the issue. And as was just brought to my attention, the Anawan Road area is another one that is seeing some flooding from the I mitigation. So we will continue to investigate to find potential solutions within the public ways.
So, are there questions from committee members?
'Cause, this is, Raina. Yeah.
Raise your hand, but
Yeah, no, I'm just, you were asking, and okay, I can raise my hand.
go ahead.
Okay, so my question is there a timeline? Sorry, this is life here. Is there a timeline for, when you talked about the mitigation, is it coming this spring? What is the actual timeline? When you were saying you were in the Amherst area and then you were also going to go over to the Anawam area?
Our Amherst area is resolved. It was a leak.
Okay. All right. Then the other one, the one that was over near Anawam?
So our consultants, Weston and Sampson, have already been out to the Anawam area.
Okay.
We right now do not have a solution. We will continue to work to investigate. I don't know what the solution will be.
Okay. All right. But
There's a high groundwater table there.
Right. Yep. But I know that there are quite a few residents in that area that are very concerned and looking for some sort of solutions. And I know that you've been proactive about this, so it's just in hopes of being able to try and resolve and pull, some of the water away from many of those properties would be really helpful.
I understand, and
Yeah.
we will do our best to find a solution, but I cannot promise you that we will find a solution.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You just would remind me where Area 9 is.
Area 9's Oak Hill.
Okay, and
Yes.
that's the area that you just spoke about?
Yes, we're in design for Area 9.
Okay. Counselor Kalis.
Yeah, I heard you mention Farina Road, so I assumed that Area 9 was down in that area. So can you tell me what you're going to be doing, especially in Oak Hill Park, and when that's going to be happening, just so I can let people know?
So we're gonna approach Area 9 in probably 3 phases, as it is so expensive. It has potential to be well over $12 million. So it is likely a 3-phase project. We will start, I believe, with the cleaning and lining before we go for replacement.
So cleaning and lining, when do you think that'll start?
They need to complete design first, so I would probably say they're 6 months out.
Okay. Okay, that's the first phase, and then what happens?
We begin the cleaning and lining. As I stated, we're working on a design to address the high groundwater table both during construction and after construction.
When you say construction, do you mean not the cleaning and lining, but of houses?
No, I mean replacing sewer lines.
I see. Okay. So you're not just cleaning and lining, but you're also replacing.
Yeah, oh, yes.
So
All of our I&I projects usually require a replacement of some pieces of sewer.
Okay. So I guess the design that tells you which ones are going to be cleaned and lined versus which ones are going to be replaced?
Yes.
Okay. And then how long do you think the replacement process takes? Well, I guess it depends on how many, right?
It depends on how many. We will be back with that to public facilities and finance.
And then when the cleaning and lining and replacements are done, that just elongates, I guess, the life of the pipes. Does it do anything to mitigate the high water table or help, bring water away from the houses?
No,
Okay.
that's not what this is designed to do. This is to address inflow and infiltration of water into our sewer pipes.
Okay.
We need to remove.
Okay. So we think it'll start June or July and go for a few years?
I would say a couple of years, yes.
Okay. And are they looking at a solution to help with that high water table in that area as well, or not really?
So this groundwater isn't part of this project. We know that we need to come up with some type of solution, especially in the Oak Hill area,
Yeah,
because the groundwater table is so high. So we will work to mitigate what we are doing, because we're blocking out the water from the sewer system. It's just gonna go back into the groundwater table.
I see. During the project, but after the project, it'll flow into the sewer system.
No,
No.
no, we don't want that water in our sewer system.
Oh, the groundwater table.
Yeah, it will go back into the groundwater table.
Right. Okay.
Council Kalis, go ahead.
Thank you. Councilor Kalis, the key to this is to keep clean groundwater out of the sewer system. So we're paying we ratepayers, are paying the MWRA a lot of money to transport clean water in the sewer system where it should not be, out to Deer Island, treating it, and then out in 14 miles into Massachusetts Bay. So that's what we want, and every community is doing this, and we need to keep clean water out of the sewer system. The challenge in a couple areas is where you have groundwater that historically has been going in high quantities. And suddenly, once we either reline or replace the sewer line in that spot, you're going to have that water. It's naturally occurring groundwater. It's there, it's in low-lying areas, and that water will stay where it is. And so it might become a challenge in certain areas. So to the degree
So
the project
it's,
can help address that, we'll try to, but this is naturally occurring groundwater that is here.
so could the situation in that area get worse because of this?
In isolated areas, potentially, yes. I think that's fair to say, and I think we have a couple examples of where historically there was some kind of gaping hole in the sewer system, and groundwater from a couple properties was going into it. And so those folks didn't have a lot of challenges with groundwater for a number of years, because the water not illegally, but incorrectly was going into the sewer.
Okay, so then what happens when, let's say we get a group of people that their houses all of a sudden are getting flooded now because of the work? I mean,
That's the
how do
challenge. We're gonna have consultants look and see if there's some improvement we can do to our infrastructure in the street to improve runoff. And we will certainly be looking to those situations as we are in a couple current cases. So to the degree the city can help deal with groundwater flow, we certainly will, but there's not always going to be an answer. I'll just tell you, I live in a low-lying area of the city. I look uphill and water comes down by gravity and gets to my basement. And so I have sump pumps at the front of the house and the back of the house. So those of us who live lower will always have these challenges.
Yeah, I have a similar situation. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, with the storms we're having now, we're gonna have cases of just intense rainfall where many people are going to, in low-lying areas, and our parking lots and other spots are going to have occasional problem, serious issues with water in basements and in your backyard.
Okay.
Commissioner Sullivan, did you want to say?
I did want to add that our stormwater ordinance, as people rebuild, will help some of this because it will capture stormwater on site.
Councilor Kalis, are you all set, or you have more questions?
I have more questions, but I think it's going to be related to the last item. I mean, it's all related, but that last item was really born out of what's happening in Oak Hill and how to figure out getting water away for these houses. And I think, I guess, Chair, we'll have to stay close to this work that's being done and hopefully it'll come back to us. So
Yeah,
we can get updates.
Right, we can hold these items.
This has to come back because we need funding for Area 9. So we will be back with the plans and everything else.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Danberg.
Thank you. My first question to Ms. Sullivan is when we replace the sewer pipes and no longer have I&I issues in that area, will that be enough of a replacement so that we would see any reduction in the cost of in the water rates that we pay the
So I think the best way
water
to
company?
do that
Yeah,
is that
MWRA.
our sewer assessment with the MWRA
Yeah.
will not increase as much.
Okay.
So it keeps the increase
Okay, so
as
it's
low as we can get it.
and the more we do, the more that increase is mitigated. Is that still
Yes.
the case?
That is still the case.
Okay.
It is getting less so because other communities are now doing this, in particular Boston. So it reduces slightly our return.
Okay. My next is a comment really and may help to address or at least inform Councillor Kalis's issues in Oak Hill. In Ward 6 on Cloverdale, a number of years ago, I'm going to say 10, maybe 15 now. That entire area is low. It's below Route 9, lower than Route 9, and chronically had a water problem in the basement. And the city worked with the residents in the Cloverdale area and did not charge them for doing the engineering on a pipe that could be run in their backyards along the property lines that may actually have served 2 streets. And they then were given a list of engineering firms that could do the work, lay the pipe, and there was a pump that pumps the water into the sewer system on Route 9. Every house opted in. I think at that time it was around $25,000 per property. They put this pipe system in, and that has pretty much solved the problem for the neighborhood. Now, this is something that is a private solution, but I think that we've got what we've got here on Agawam, and I guess on in all of Oak Hill is a similar issue where because they're low-lying areas, the yards themselves can't be drained by running pipes down the road. It's a private issue. So we might benefit from having something similar to that available to starting with the Agawam folks in Ward 5.
Are
Is
you
that-
saying that the
Is
city?
that something that
Counselor
is being
Danberg,
thought
are
of?
you suggesting that the city do this?
The city offered to do the engineering and then for free. And they then helped the neighborhood find an engineering company, a construction company that could do the work, and the houses privately paid for it. It was, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They all split the bill, and it was about 25,000 per house.
Commissioner Sullivan?
So Councilor Danberg, we shouldn't be designing we are not allowed to expend public funds on private property. That's a larger discussion,
Mhm.
and we shouldn't be recommending any engineering services for companies.
I don't have any
I can't
comment on
say
that.
that in
It
the
is what
past.
it is. But what I do want to point out is that the
If it's
city
on the street,
did,
yeah,
yeah, the city did help the Cloverdale area solve their problem at Cloverdale at private expense by doing what they could to lead them to a solution. There wasn't the expertise among the neighborhood, the members of the neighborhood to be able to come up with this solution.
So-
But the city did step up and help them in some way, and perhaps we could
Yeah.
find a way that we could do it in the Agawam neighborhood.
So Councilor Danberg, we will always work with people to find a solution. We may not be able to design the solution, but we will always work with people and make suggestions on
Okay,
possible.
I just wanted to make that comment because I remembered that we had solved the problem in a part of the city by in that fashion. That's it for me. Thank you.
We will always work with people.
Councillor Getz, can I let other councillors speak first? I'll come back to you since you've already spoken.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, Councillor Lucas.
Oh, this is great. I get to cut Raina. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Commissioner, for the presentation, and I know you're going to be busy in these next 24 hours, and can see you checking the clock, so I'll get you out of here before 8.
It's fine.
So just what advice could we tell homeowners and people who live in these high water table zones about the flooding issues that are happening right now? I am mainly talking about the ones on Edgefield Road and Onawan Road as well, if you could.
And Oak Hill Park.
Well, Oak Hill Park we're working on. We should have some type of solution for Oak Hill Park. And we are happy to work with, I just gave the people from Anawan Road my card. We'll set up a meeting to discuss Anawan.
Okay, but in general, is there anything else that we could provide advice to people that I could share with them? Because it's not just, those particular neighborhoods, but just in general.
So I'm hesitant to tell you because oftentimes it's a case by case issue. It could be a clogged catch basin and all we need to do is clean the catch basins. It could be broken city infrastructure, a drain line that's not functioning. So we need to investigate in the area. So I would suggest that you tell anyone with those kinds of issues to reach out to Public Works.
Who in particular should I reach out to?
Tom Fitzgerald, who is our utilities director. I will send you his contact information.
Yeah, please, could you send the contact information so I can share it with some folks? That's all I have for right now. But thank you again, and I guess we'll be in touch, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Wright.
Thank you. I have a question. Watertown and Waltham require new development and major development to hold the 100-year stormwater runoff. And that's defined as 8 inches, but we only require 2 inches. Shouldn't we increase it to be?
It is the 100-year storm. I think you may be thinking of developments before 2022.
So, but supposedly they need to hold off 8 inches and we only have to hold off 2 inches?
No,
That's incorrect.
Okay,
We have the 100-year storm, the 8-inch storm is required here in Newton as well.
it is.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
the toughest stormwater ordinances there are in all of New England.
I'm gonna talk to
So
that.
she's gonna get that in just a minute.
okay,
It's 7-8 inches.
okay, thank you, that's it.
Councillor Getz.
Yeah, okay. I actually was trying to make this point last night, when we were at the opening of the Northland discussion in terms of their amendments to their special permit. And because in reading one of the sewer I&I mitigation memo that was generated by the planning department, it explained that the sewer area number 8, which Northland sits in, received this area was through the city's CIP for sewer, the city expended $5 million. And so there's substantial work that has been done, and now they're coming and asking for mitigation, for reducing the 25% of what would be required of them. It's like 1.8 million versus the 7.2 that they are required to pay. So I just sort of feel like, if in fact Area 9 needs the funding, that in fact this is the purpose of the formula and the mitigation fund formula. So I just sort of feel like I would like to see this accelerated, the work that's being done in the sewer CIP. So I sort of feel as if we're losing an opportunity here, and we should be getting 100% of this mitigation.
We have the funding set in our CIP, so we do have the funding. The entire purpose of the mitigation program for new development, the 25% is to allow for expenditures in other greatly needed issues in surrounding the development. So don't worry, we're getting full benefit of the mitigation payment requirements that come from engineering. So we do have the funding set for the areas to over the next several years. So funding is there.
We don't have to discuss this. I just this is new to me, and I sort of feel as if in fact that this is the way it's supposed to happen, that because of the amount of sewage that's going to be coming from that site, that the calculation is for $7.2 million approximately. And I just sort of feel like, why are we giving away these dollars? I don't understand why
we're not giving it away. We're getting all the full benefit from it. We can talk about that offline separately.
Okay, so why do they come with asking for a waiver then? I don't understand. I need to understand this. I need to understand this because
Councilor Getz, this is really, let's not get off track.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No, I'm just, this is the way it was presented in the document, and it's very confusing to me because it sort of seems like we're letting it go, and it's dollars.
Land use issue and how land use is working with DPW and the mitigation fund. So we can certainly discuss that. That you should certainly have an answer to that question, but probably not tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Smookler, we have some of your neighbors in the room who are also from Anawam, and they've explained the Anawam problem to us. If the committee doesn't object, I would like to give Mr. Smookler a chance to briefly explain his problem, but then we'd like to move on because we have 2 other items and we only have a half an hour left. Mr. Smookler, do you want to speak?
Yes, thank you for hosting this meeting. I can tell you that a large chunk of my neighbors are on this call. My sump pump, since the project, has gone off consistently. And I wanted to say, it sounded in this meeting like the Anawan problem is something new to you guys. And since the day the project happened, we've all had issues. And to hear like you solved one problem, but you don't know exactly what you're going to do on this problem with spring coming is something that's a little concerning. And I think I can speak for everyone. Like we've all been talking here, and I can see the groundwater under my foundation, and it's been since the moment you guys did the project, it's been consistently higher. One of our neighbors has had the swamp in the back. They're pumping water out to the street nonstop. So it's something that just the vibe that I got was that this is new to you, and I want to make sure that everybody hears.
Let me just explain. This is the Public Facilities Committee of the City Council. And so this item has been docketed and we're discussing it tonight. We have a commissioner of DPW who knows about the problem,
Yeah.
and she has offered her card and her information to your neighbors who are here at the meeting, and I'm sure they will be in touch with you about setting up a meeting to discuss this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. And Ms. Behrens, if you have a quick comment as well. Oh, could you ask it on mute?
This is a quick question. I live on Edgefield, adjacent to where the biggest problems are, but in speaking to the, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the engineering firm, but when they were on the street, they talked about how the, these pipes, groundwater pipes, were put in the 50s, and they are too small in diameter to support the removal of groundwater, given how the neighborhood has been built up since then. So you were speaking before about the cleaning and examination and possible repair and replacement. If you are replacing these pipes, what is the potential for replacing them with larger pipes that can handle the runoff more effectively?
So we're talking two different things. We did cleaning and lining and replacement of the sewer mains.
Oh, okay. All right. So, and then I just want to make one quick observation. We've been I understand there are thousands, 13,000 plus catch basins in the city. And I was told by someone I spoke to that they are cleaned citywide every year. I have never, until today, seen anybody. My office is right on the street, been in the house 45 years. I have never seen until today any city truck cleaning the catch basins. I assume some of them have been out there, but can you confirm that these catch basins are going to be cleaned every year?
I'm gonna talk to this right now, and it will also be part of my upcoming presentation. So previously, we were doing about a third of the catch basins a year. We use a contractor, it's not the city. It is roadway maintenance, so you wouldn't necessarily know that that's what they were doing. We are now contracted to clean every catch basin in the city once a year, going forward.
So prior to this year, it was
About a third
a
of
year.
the basins each year.
Okay,
We increased the stormwater budget substantially in order to expand and accelerate the cleaning of catch basins throughout the city.
okay. Well, thanks very much for bringing your comments to this meeting. Do you want to go on to the next item?
Sure, I do have a slideshow.
Yeah, you're printing.
Yes. Ready? Yes. We'll start with the next slide. This is just a presentation on the current upcoming water, sewer, and stormwater projects. We'll start with our water projects for FY25 and some FY26. We continue with our unidirectional flushing program, hydrant flushing program, to ensure excellent water quality, properly functioning valves and fire hydrants. We are currently evaluating all of our fire hydrants within the city and making necessary repairs. Water service pipeline inventory is complete and in compliance with the EPA's new lead copper rule requirements. The city is actually in really great shape when compared to other communities. In 2014, we offered a zero interest loan program provided by the MWRA for lead service line replacement, which eliminated 350 lead service lines. There is one remaining lead service and 8 unknown services remaining on the private side. We will continue to offer the zero interest loan to property owners that need to have their service lines replaced. We anticipated completing the required replacement of 146 galvanized services over the next 5 years instead of the 10-year requirement. As we discussed at the last meeting, the water meter system replacement, we've replaced over 90% of the approximately 29,000 meters citywide. Next slide. We are continuing with our 2.35 miles of water main replacement scheduled for FY 25. We're more than halfway through this process right now. This includes replacement, lining, and or cleaning. As part of the CIP, these projects ensure excellent water quality, sufficient fire flow capacity, and reduce water loss in the city system. We continue with our leak detection and elimination program. In FY 24, we identified 25 leaks that consisted of 2 leaks in mains, 18 service lines, and 5 hydrant leaks. The estimated leakage was 312 gallons per day per minute, 449,280 gallons per day. All of these leaks have been repaired, which is substantial savings to the city. 1 round of leak detection is 50,000 and takes about 3 months to complete. So we hope to get to doing this twice a year in FY 26. These are our sewer projects. We are currently in design in Area 9. We anticipate that Area 9 will take over 3 years to complete construction, as it includes a number of repairs and replacement in challenging conditions. The expectation is that we will begin Area 10 construction as soon as Area 9 is complete. We purchased the city's first hydro excavator this year, which has improved safety for our crews. It prevents damage to nearby underground infrastructure and reduces the size of the excavation trenches. We are currently upgrading the HVAC system in 11 of our sewer pump stations, and construction of the Oldham Road pump station is substantially complete. We only have to pave the road to complete that project. We are continuing with our illicit discharge detection and elimination program as required by our NIPT's MS4 permits. We'll continue with our I&I removal project. If you look at the slide, it'll give you some great numbers. We are saving through Project 6, $1,556,490, or eliminating 4,375 cubic feet, or $62,000 per day. And our stormwater projects include the first phase of the NIPT's required phosphorus control plan is complete. We've moved on to phase 2, which includes prioritization and planning projects for short, medium, and long term to meet the plan requirements. And we are seeking an alternate schedule from the EPA. The projects include structural and non-structural methods to reduce our phosphorus discharge into the Charles River. We have also received a state grant for an asset inventory of existing private and municipal stormwater structural controls. We will share their schedule for the asset inventory with the council once we receive it. We are currently updating our stormwater infrastructure improvement plan to reprioritize and develop plans to help alleviate localized flooding as a result of increased heavy rainfall. The plan will include culvert repairs and prioritize plan for dredging streams and culverts. We have applied for a Mass DEP grant for an assessment of our streams and culverts. We should hear back on whether we receive the grant in the next few months. We recently completed cleaning dredging of the South Meadow Brook culvert behind the Countryside School and the dredging and restoration of the City Hall ponds. We have enhanced our catch basin cleaning program to include annual cleaning and inspection of all city catch basins. In FY 26, we will begin a prioritized stream culvert cleaning program with a new line item for $500,000 dedicated to the cleaning. That completes that portion on the second item. Do you guys have any questions?
I was just curious, the grant that you mentioned, the federal grant, what was it for?
It's a state grant.
Oh, state grant.
We received one, which is for private and municipal stormwater structures, so we have a database of all of our stormwater mitigation structures that are in the ground. And then the second one is to do a prioritization plan for our stormwater streams, culverts, and other systems. Citywide,
And these are state money, not
it
federal.
is state
Okay,
money,
good.
it's SRF, state revolving funds.
Okay. Okay, we have some questions. Counselor Kalis?
Quick question. I think that's where you were going, Counselor Albright. So the state funds probably depend on federal funds. If federal funds don't come through based on what's going on, do you have a plan B for some of the work?
We do, because we would be required to give $75,000 in matching funds for these grants anyways. We've already received the 250 for the private public stormwater mechanisms. So that is all set. It will be our stormwater management plan that we're awaiting to hear from the state on. We would, of course, move forward with that. It may take a little longer.
You said they're revolving funds. Is it from some state revolving fund?
It is from a state revolving
So it
fund.
feels like that's it probably.
Probably
pretty-
okay.
Yeah. Counselor Wright?
Thank you. As we look at the projects to reduce phosphorus to help us comply with the MS4 permit, are we asking the consultant to evaluate the flood mitigation benefits of each project?
No. What we're looking at is the amount of phosphorus reduction.
Some will have
Some
substantial.
benefit, yes.
Yeah, some will have substantial stormwater, other benefits besides phosphorus reduction. So there will be benefits. It depends on the site.
Why aren't we asking them that question though?
No, we will get that information as part of the design. The priority is we're under federal, order at this point to comply with the phosphorus rules. So it's a good thing that we're gonna be potentially digging up many parks in this city and installing underground basins to deal with stormwater. That is going to help not only with phosphorus, but it will also help deal with road runoff and keeping water, at least the first several inches of a storm, keeping it, getting it underground.
Keeping the water on site.
Yeah, and keeping it on site and off the streets.
So you said we're installing underground what? You
They're
said-
retention basins.
Retention
Oh,
basins and
Yes.
structures underneath underground.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Getz?
You've got, there's a slide up for the stormwater projects of the Bullows Pond Dam Rehabilitation Project, obtain the permits and begin construction. What is the status of that project? I don't want to, take much time on it, but it's mentioned here. So it must mean that there's, progress, or something has shifted.
We did meet with the Bullis Pond Working Group. We need to move forward. The state will be coming to the public facilities meeting on March 5th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're under state order and we know what needs to happen. We put forward a plan and we continue to meet with the working group and we'll be back to this committee soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
March
a,
5th,
there was a
correct.
request to have the dam safety people come to our meeting.
Yeah.
And they've agreed to come at our first March meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Counselor Danberg?
Thank you. Actually, Counselor Getz just asked one of the questions that I was going to ask. It was about Bullows Pond. Who was the consultant that did that, and who was the construction company that's going to be working on that?
We don't have a construction company because we don't have a final design.
I see. Okay, and who are we working with on?
We're working with GEI.
Okay. And did we get any grants to help us with that?
No, we did not.
No, that was all city. Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions for tonight? So you'll be back with us at budget time anyway,
Yes,
to go over this again.
it's a
So-
CIP. I'll go through the whole CIP.
Yeah, So there'll be another chance to dip into
There'll
it.
be opportunity to go
Yeah.
right through this.
Okay, great. All right. Next one, I didn't think we'd get this far, okay.
Yes. So this slide is just to remind everybody what the stormwater is and what the purposes are for our rules and regulations and the ordinance itself. Now, if you've had a chance to read it.
Oh, no.
You can read it. It's to comply with the RMS4 permit, establish stormwater management rules and regulations, support phosphorus, load reduction target, protect, maintain, and enhance public safety and environmental health by reducing the volume of stormwater runoff. It is also to codify our existing stormwater management policy requirements and ensure that new development and development control and treat runoff before it leaves private property. Slide.
But what the protect one, protect, maintain, and enhance public safety and environmental health. Is that everywhere in the city, no matter whether is it public property or?
So it is to ensure that when we develop properties, depending on what level it is, minor or major project, that they keep their 100-year storm. I'll talk through this.
Okay, good.
And these are the objectives: minimize the discharge of pollutants and stormwater runoff from new and redeveloped sites through infiltration, retention, and or treatment using best management practice for our MS4 permit. Minimize or eliminate soil erosion and maintain sediment on site so that it is not transported via stormwater runoff into our drainage system, streams, or the Charles River. To reduce, mitigate the volume of stormwater runoff associated with new impervious surface like buildings, parking lots, driveways, etc. Implement low impact development strategies. And talk to this. So the stormwater ordinance and rules and regulations were approved in June 2022. It is important to note that our stormwater ordinance and rules and regulation requirements surpass almost all other municipalities in Massachusetts. A key goal of the ordinance is highlighted in this slide, is to reduce or mitigate the volume of stormwater generated by new impervious surface, such as additions, new buildings, parking lots, patios, and driveways. Under the ordinance, minor projects must incorporate stormwater mitigation systems to address runoff from any increase in impervious area, including additions to existing structures. For major projects, such as full demolitions, rebuilds, or new construction, the property owner or developer is required to install a stormwater system capable of retaining 100% of the 100-year stormwater volume from all impervious areas on the property. A 100-year storm is defined as 8.78 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. The owner or developer must hire a licensed design engineer who will submit a site plan and stormwater report for review and approval by the Inspectional Services Department and Engineering Division as part of the building permit process. Stormwater mitigation systems are designed based on soil conditions as determined by test pit and percolation test data. In areas with poor or no percolation, such as ledge properties, designers may install holding basins which temporarily hold stormwater until the storm passes, then releases it. The Engineering Division construction inspectors inspect the installation of stormwater mitigation systems. The Utilities Division issues a stormwater management certificate of compliance, otherwise known as an SMCC. And then engineering signs off on the certificate of occupancy, if installed according to the approved site plan. All proposed changes during construction must be submitted via our permitting software, NewGov, by the design engineer of record and approved by the Engineering Division. Owners, developers are required to submit maintenance records via NewGov of the installed stormwater system to Engineering Division on an annual basis. The SMCC expires every 5 years and must be renewed by submitting operation and maintenance logs into NewGov. Maintenance is specified in the operations and maintenance plan for the system, which is filed with Registry of Deeds. If a building permit is pulled, then stormwater ordinance is required to be followed. As the ordinance addresses new developments and renovations, stormwater runoff across the city is expected to improve. However, for existing properties with no changes to the area, no stormwater mitigation is required. The Engineering and Utilities Division investigate flooding complaints to determine if city infrastructure such as city drainage, infrastructure, block catch basins, or city and or private water leaks is the fault of the issue. Property owners are responsible for managing stormwater runoff on their property. They must ensure their actions do not negatively affect neighboring properties. If runoff causes damage, such as flooding or erosion on adjacent properties, the affected property owners may seek legal recourse. Happy to take questions
Okay.
for 5 minutes.
We may have to hold you, we can't get it done tonight. Counselor Kalis.
Well, first I'm going to move to hold because, you know, everything you read sounds great, but in reality, there's a lot of finger pointing, and what we found, especially in Oak Hill Park, is that the developers just aren't, they're not responsive, they're not responsible, and there's no recourse for the homeowners, especially once these are built. So I just feel like this requires a longer conversation, and you know, I'd like to see a diagram of kind of how the process is supposed to work, because I think that would be very useful for homeowners down the road. I have a lot of homeowners that are just flabbergasted. They just can't figure it all out, and I try to help, but we need something because this is going to become more and more of a problem. It already is significant, and we have to be able to explain it in a way that makes sense, and we have to be able to have more teeth to be able to hold the developers to count. And that's just becoming more and more of a problem.
I do know that there was an issue in Oak Hill Park between two neighbors. I also understand that the project wasn't completed when the issue occurred. The stormwater mitigation system wasn't completely in. And the landscaping.
That's that's one. There's yeah.
So are you set for now? When we take it up again, you'll have more?
Yes.
Okay, Counselor Wright.
Yeah, I'd like to get this into more detail because like there's a house in West Newton, the way this is written, it sounds great, but they actually moved their driveway. It was less impervious surface. And so they said, and I believe ISD, they didn't have to comply with this. And unfortunately, they moved the driveway to a hill that goes down into someone else's property. So is that true, or is that just an incorrect reading of the ordinance?
I would need to know when they pulled their building permit. That's the other issue. Remember that this came into effect in June of 2022.
Yeah,
So-
no, I'm pretty sure they pulled it way after that, 23 or 24. Okay.
What's the address?
Yes, I do need the address.
It's on Waltham and Orchard, that corner house there. I don't have it offhand. I'll get it to you.
Right.
Thank you.
That's it? Okay, Counselor Getz.
I don't want to keep you from your meeting, but I actually wonder whether or not is DPW in any way considering some sort of monetizing mature trees on lots, you know, in terms of stormwater mitigation. I think that this is something that we really need to think about, you know, in terms of giving a property owner an understanding of the benefit of the trees on their property. And, you know, the benefit of them helping with stormwater.
That really was done during the tree ordinance discussion. We have set about, as I'm sure you know, extremely high charges now for tree removal, and the value of stormwater retention on site was certainly something that Mark Welsh And the committee programs and services took into account developing those new rules.
Right, but this is a stick, and I'm thinking of this as a carrot in the sense of, including mature trees in the benefit of the mitigation that they serve in terms of being, kept on a property. So this, I think, is a carrot, and I think we need to think this way, so that people then understand that they could be part of the equation in terms of the site stormwater mitigation.
Yeah, I think that's built into the system, but we can talk about that offline.
Landscaping certainly is built into the
Yeah.
stormwater ordinance and the
So,
rules and regulations.
Unfortunately, we have to let Shauna go.
Sorry.
No, I
because-
know. Good luck with your next meeting.
Thank you.
So Shauna, you can go while we're. finishing
Thank
up
you.
the issues
Finish
here.
up that.
So, we definitely wanna hold 347-24. The other ones, 348-24, you'll be back again anyway.
Well, I will be back anyways as part of the CIP for all of our water sewer stormwater
So
projects.
we could do no action necessary on 348-24 unless somebody wants to hold.
Thank you. Bless you.
So, do we have a motion for, I'll move it, we hope we do no action necessary on 348-24. Because they'll be back in April with the budget on the same topic.
One sec. I just want to find that.
That's the one that's the work that they're doing to upgrade the water, sewer and stormwater system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that then.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so all those in favor
Definitely.
say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Anybody? Okay, that one is no action necessary and it will come up again soon. 324-24 was the discussion about mitigating stormwater to improve flooding. You want to hold that one as well?
I do.
Yes.
For a motion to hold 324-24 and 347-24.
Okay, Yep.
Counselor Getz moves that. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, so that was held. Those two are held. And our last item, I guess Molly called Katie this morning and said that she is sick and can't find anybody to replace her for this last item. So we're gonna have to hold this item and bring it up at our next meeting, which will be the February 19th. So can I have a motion to hold 23?
Move to hold.
So Councilor Dan Burgess moved to hold. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, that's held as well, and our work here is done tonight.
Thank you.
Very much, everybody.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.